Welcome to another episode of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, for this Nintendo News Daily. Before we jump into it's Cyber Monday. We're coming up on the final moments of Elgato's Black Friday sale. N64josh.com/Elgato to check out all of the great deals. The prompter and the foot pedal, two of my favorite things outside, of course, of the capture card and Stream Deck, all that kind of stuff. Like, I love all their gear. I really do. I really do. N64josh.com/Elgato. Go and check it out. See if there's something that fits your budget so you can start upgrading your setup. Today's show, we're going to be looking at a number of headlines. It's the anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There is a PlayStation game, an older one, heading to Switch. Another game coming in at 120 FPS. A few other headlines we will touch on. The main topic is going to be we know very little about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So we're gonna jump into it. I want to say what's up to Steak is hanging out. Hello, hello. Anybody just lurking? We're doing this at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. 6:30 a.m. for you West Coasters, so I do apologize that it's so early. So hopefully you've got yourself a nice cup of coffee. I got my Mario mug as usual. It's either that or the pipe mug. We can talk some Nintendo news and sip some coffee together. With that, let's jump into the news. Anniversary of Monolith Soft um of Monolith Soft's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And they of course posted a picture, but we are all hungry for so much more when it comes to Monolith Soft and what they have cooking next. Taking a look at the article from Nintendo Life here, it says, "Has it really been 8 entire years?" Yes, it actually has. Uh, so sit up and pay attention at the back. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is every Xenoblade nerd worth their salt knows is actually the third game released in the series, dropped into existence on this very day back in 2017. Um, it it's a bit good. We gave it a well-deserved 9 out of 10. Nintendo Life did in their review, and it's a bona fide banger, as officially ordained by the bona fide banger squad. All right, I don't even know what that means, but here we go. Uh, the picture that Monolith Soft posted is what is on the special edition of, uh, or like the limited edition, collector's edition of the game. It's also the same artwork that is on the steelbook for this game. This game is pretty special to me. I have Mithra and Pyra amiibo on my desk. I didn't really care for JRPGs until Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That and when I first started playing it, I was like, what is going on here? Why can I not attack? Why am I just moving around and my swords are automatically swinging? What is happening here?" And I didn't realize uh I didn't realize at the time how deep the combat was and how much fun this series really is. I have since gone back and completed the first game and I'm working on X. I'm like level 18 in 3, but I kinda wanna complete X before 3, but I also want this I'm hoping for, like, a Switch 2 upgrade for X before I go too much further, but the time I spent with X, I had a great time with, and same with 3. But I enjoyed 2 so much, I'm so tempted to play it again. I'm so tempted to play it again because of how much I liked it. So, uh, the anniversary, 8 years, can't believe it. I saw a tweet from somebody just showcasing Xenoblade Chronicles X, basically just, like, saying, "Look at how glorious this is. Wait until we see what Monolith Soft does with the Switch 2 hardware." And that gets me super, super stoked. So, super, super stoked. Steak says, "Nobody knows what it means, but it gets people going." I think we're referring to, Talking Metroid. Yes, I think, or maybe the photo from Monolith Soft, but if it comes to Metroid, I am super stoked that we know so little, and we'll get into it. We will get into it for sure. So, moving right along here, this PlayStation platforming sequel makes the jump to Switch very soon. Limited run games announced that Toomba 2, The Evil Swine Returns Special Edition, way back in June 2024. And while a good chunk of time has passed by since then, including a rather buggy release of its platforming uh, oh, the certified banger, yes. Yeah, nobody knows what it means, but it gets the people going. There you go. Yep, there you go, certified banger. Exactly. I love it. Let's see. Toomba 2 will arrive on the Switch eShop on the 15th of December for 1999. Um, marking the first time the 3D PlayStation platformer has been available on Nintendo systems. For those who didn't try this one out back in the early 2000s, Tomba 2 took the same jungle platforming precedent as the first game in the series, but moved things into the wonderful world of 3D. With the now chiseled Toomba given an extra dimension to play with. The game packed in new weapons and power up costumes on top of a huge number of fresh missions and events. The Switch 2 Special Edition throws in a museum gallery mode and the chance to rewind and save at any time. So while the polygon visuals remain, there are at least some new ways to get around the game's less favorable nostalgic elements. A couple of just a quick rundown. Gorgeous 3D graphics that instantly transport you to Toomba's world. All new weapons, items, costumes to collect and use against the evil pigs. A massive 137 different missions to complete. New exclusive features such as rewind and save anywhere, and a museum filled with rare artwork and much more. So if you're looking for a 3D platformer, from that was on PlayStation back in 2000. This might wet that whistle. Not that we don't have so much to play right now, because it just seems honestly crazy. And what's funny to me is I've been doing videos on TikTok promoting SD cards, and I literally have people in the comments saying, "How are you filling up an SD card? There's no games on the Switch." And I'm just I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's not only just the current games. I have my older games on there too, but the 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 argument that there's no games, like, I can't even I can't even keep up with everything. I'm working a bit on my backlog. I'm still trying to work through Hyrule Warriors. The backlog that I'm working on is Metroid Prime Remastered, and I'm having such a great time with it, trying to get it beat uh before Prime 4 comes out. So, let's see, I had to delete games to make room for Prime 4. Yeah, that it makes sense. It makes sense. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. So, moving on here through the news. This is so but it's gotta be for just kinda the push for Animal Crossing, the new update. Nintendo dishing out in-game codes for Festival Animal, Crossing New Horizon sweaters. And so, basically, what I recommend if you wanna check these out, head on over to Nintendo Life. They've got the code for the dream address. They also have the code for each individual sweater, and so you can get a Jingle sweater, a Bells sweater, or a wreath sweater, and these are all made by, uh, by Nintendo, like Nina from, Ninten, which is the island, and they're pretty great. So if you wanna rock some new Christmas sweaters during the month of December, this these are made by Nintendo. The Jingle one looks they all honestly look great. They look really, really cool. So I might even throw one of these on. I don't know. I have a hard time changing out of my OG N64 Josh gear. I've got the Pixel Mario hat and the N64 sweatshirt that I made. So I have a tough time leaving those behind. But the jingle sweater, it's pretty fantastic, and it looks great on the character as well. So, really cool to see that, albeit maybe a bit late for this, good to see them start to make that push to get people back into the game, get people excited for the update that's happening next month. Next month, it's crazy to be able to say that. I'm so excited to get back to AC. Really, really looking forward to it. Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the show that there's, another 120 FPS game coming out. No More Robots is putting out Switch 2's next 120 FPS game. Little Rocket Lab is a sweet pixel art automation game from No More Robots and Teenage Astronauts. It arrived on Steam and Xbox last month, and we've been wondering when a Switch release would follow ever since. This is from Nintendo Life. Well, it's coming real soon. What's more, there's a Switch 2 edition in tow. Little Rocket Lab Nintendo Switch 2 edition and its Switch 1 counterpart will be available on the eShop on the 10th of December, or as for 19.99, or as a free upgrade for those who make the jump between systems down the road. And it boasts some pretty slick performance and new hardware alongside the promise of boosted resolution. Uh, Teenage Astronauts have also got things running at a sweet 120 FPS. I see spare changes here. What's going on? Oh, we got no spoilers happening in Metroid. We're going to be talking about how much they haven't been giving us and why it's a good thing. Uh, so welcome on in. It's good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, this one looks pretty good. Little Rocket Lab and 120 FPS. I mean, I'm loving the fact that we're seeing some of these pixel art games running at 120. Mina from Yacht Club also has a 120 FPS option, and it looks incredible. Runs so smooth, so smooth. So love seeing love seeing this. This is giving vibes if you're in the market for more cozy games. So again, it's a factory building game, so it's you're going to be building machines that can then create different products, based on the resources and all this kind of stuff. So they can be really fun and also pretty relaxing. So maybe worth checking out. No More Robots coming. What would we say? December 10th. So if you finish Prime 4 by then, you have something you can jump into. Next up, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment Update 1.0.2 patch notes. New quests, weapons, and battles added. This was a cool tweet to see from Nintendo last week. It says earlier this week, Nintendo detailed free uh a new free update for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This update for the Zelda themed Muso is now officially available on the Switch 2. Nintendo has shared the official patch notes on its website, and it highlights all the new features, including new quests, weapons, new sync strikes, and battles. It also details various improved features and fixed issues, and so we're not going to get into everything, but I want to talk about the quest. Multiple challenges and quests were added as an element of clearing the main game. New vicious enemies for Bokoblin and Sludge like now appear. Fuse attacks like Boko Rapid Spin that are performed using materials from the vicious Bokoblins will be increasingly powered up compared to past materials, so that's good. A new weapon added the Longsword of Light, a special longsword that Raru granted the protection of the power of light to, and the High Guard Spear, a spear used to the bravest warriors serving the King of Hyrule. You can acquire these by clearing battles that are added in this update. Also, the new Sync Strikes, exclusive Sync Strikes added for Zelda and Kalamo. Zelda will return a boomerang that Kalamo throws using the power of time and follow up. If the player can press the X button with good timing, she will catch the boomerang and the attack will become powerful. You can learn these by clearing the quests that are added in this update. Fighting alongside Flux Construct, you will now be able to perform sync strikes with Flux Constructs. These powerful spin attacks will scatter minor enemies and chip away at weak points gauge of powerful enemies. You'll be able to perform this in existing battles where flux constructs appear in addition to the battles that are added in this update. So, new battles added: Eve of the Final Confrontation, In Search of Pose, The Struggle for Ash Swamp. And then it goes into the improved features, which there's a number of things, as well as the fixed issues. So, um, that's I'm not going to go into all of it. It's pretty extensive, but cool to see that there's essentially like a free update, a little bit of DLC for Hyrule Warriors already. And I've been having a great time with this one. Really, really good time. It is fantastic. The cutscenes, the storytelling, the voice acting, and the gameplay are just a lot of fun. And I'm really, really enjoying it, and have still been. I put some more time in this weekend. I know. I know a handful of you have been asking, are you gonna finish Hyrule and Prime before Prime 4? I'm trying. I am really, really trying. So, also trying to get some time with our game of the week, which got pushed. So we're still doing Metroid Fusion. We'll be chatting about that on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern if you guys want to get involved in that conversation. So, well, let's jump over to our main topic, which is Metroid Prime 4 and why we know so little about this game. Here we go. So, Metroid Prime 4 was showcased in the Treehouse, and it was showcased at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. A handful of content creators, including Johnny Bo, were invited to a special preview event. The footage that we are watching right now comes from VGC, and this was part of that event, just playing through basically the first level and what we assume is the second level, and that's it. The Treehouse played through the first level, and I think kind of a big complaint about Metroid Dread was that they showed a lot. A lot, and it's a tricky thing trying to make sure that the marketing does a good job enticing people, getting that curiosity to the point that people want to pick the game up. But for longtime fans, it's also very important that they don't show too much and that there's not too much spoiled. I think a main part of the conversation around this game is like, is there going to be a direct? There's a handful of people that don't feel like they have been sold on this title. And as I'm playing through Metroid Prime Remastered again, and I'm looking at the way that they have marketed Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I'm very happy with what they've done. I'm very happy. They have shown us very little. There's been a lot teased. If you look closely at a lot of the trailers, you can see uh, the the monsters that we're going to be dealing with in this game have definitely piqued my interest. Seeing them crawl out of the ground, crawl out of walls. It looks like there's going to be potentially some creepiness to Metroid Prime 4, which gets me excited. You also see one scene in the last overview trailer that shows the entire team that Samus is rescuing getting just swarmed by these monsters. And that look, I mean, I'm just like, I can't wait to get to that section and play through it. I don't feel like we have seen very many of the power-ups. If you watch closely in the last overview trailer, you can see her arm cannon switches to, like, a almost like it has spikes on it, and I think there's, kinda some speculation that it's probably leaning more towards, like, some kind of an electrical shot, but again, we don't really know, it's just speculation at this point, and so there's been a lot of fun speculation around this game because we don't have a lot of solid answers, and on one hand, you might have people saying, "Well, why aren't they marketing this game better?" But I think they've shown us everything that it is. It is a Metroid game, it is first person, it is it is going to be cinematic, it's gonna have some great boss fights, and it's got mystery. And I do really think that is a good thing. I see Brandon is here. What's going on? Welcome on in. Happy Monday. And so I'm more excited because of the lack of info. And that might sound a bit strange. And there's a few reasons for this. One, I was thinking about this weekend. Why am I such a big Metroid fan? Like what is it about this series? And what it boils down to is it was the first game series that I ever played that made me care about story and the characters. And Super Metroid does such a fantastic job from the opening of the game, the opening sequence to the final boss of making you care about not only Samus, but even a Metroid, which is kind of crazy. But like, you guys have heard me say it a million times on here, like, the end of Super Metroid is one of the most iconic moments in gaming for me ever. I just remember, like, sitting there after beating it and just going like, "I can't believe that happened." Like, what a fantastic game. And it was so much more than I expected from when I was, from what I was used to playing. Games were Super Mario and Mario World and even The Legend of Zelda it was great. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was adventuring with Link, and the story felt very, like, familiar, if you will. Super Metroid veered away from that familiarity, and I I I fell in love because of it. Like, that is the moment that, like, it really solidified as one of my favorite game series of all times. Then you fast forward to, Fusion and Zero Mission. I loved those, played them a ton. Prime, absolutely loved it. Prime 2, I was, day 1, had to have it, and then got stuck on that one, unfortunately. And then I couldn't bring myself to play 3 because of the controls. I did not love the Wii remote. Hindsight, I wish I had done it. I wish I had done it. I'm still hopeful that they'll bring those games. Thankfully, you don't have to know anything about the Prime series for 4. It's a standalone, like, restart of the series, so that's good. So, um, Dread is my Super Metroid Prime 1. I love that. That's great. Yeah, Dread is fantastic, and Dread really, like, again, it was more of that just it took everything Super Metroid did for, like, right and just built on it and just made it that much better. And because the reason I was thinking about this and wondering about this is, like, why do I love this game so much, yet it doesn't sell that well? The series as a whole doesn't sell that well. Why hasn't it pulled more people in? And I kind of feel like if you didn't get bit by the bug with Super Metroid, the other games, were okay. Prime remastered, fantastic. And then Dread really brought everything back, and I think Dread will be a huge factor in the sales for this game doing fairly well. I think Prime 4 will become the best-selling Metroid game ever, and, hopefully, will be the catalyst for moving this series, keeping the series going forward into the future. Back to just the topic, they've left a ton of curiosity here, and I know for some people, it's not the best way to market it. I know that I don't need to be marketed to when it comes to when it comes to this game. It's a pickup regardless because it's a series that, I just adore. I absolutely adore, but I know that is not the case for everybody, and so it's a bit risky, and it also because you do have people saying like, "Well, why didn't this get a direct like Donkey Kong?" I don't know that there's any more that they wanna show. They showed the first level, they show everything that Samus can do, they show a killer boss fight, they show you flying in, and the cutscenes are fantastic, like, it's it all kinda just left me in awe, honestly, like, this is great. I wish I knew a bit more about psychic powers, but we'll get there. I'm really hoping, especially after Dread, and especially after playing Prime Remastered, and I believe I mentioned this, but that there's some kind of a melee attack, because I would love to be able to, just, knock stuff back and then shoot it just like you do in Samus Returns and in Dread. It is such a great mechanic that I hope Retro incorporated as well, because it's kind of weird, especially when you're dealing with, like, the space pirates that are cloaked, and they run right up to you, and you just are still charging your beam. It would be nice if you could charge and melee at the same time, so I'm hoping that they add some kind of mechanic like that. I'm hoping that there's something within the psychic powers that I'm like, "Yo, I love this, it makes sense, I'm glad it's here." My initial look at the psychic powers and everything, I'm like, "Okay, it looks like it's gonna be, for puzzle mechanics and that kinda stuff," which is cool, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface. I feel like they are showing us so little, so little, they're not spoiling much of the story at all. There's a ton to unpack here, and I think there's gonna be buzz. I think there is gonna be buzz when this game drops this week, and, people are somewhat in shock by some of the cool stuff that we are going to be seeing from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So I am I know we have not seen a lot. I know some of people are a bit, confused on what the game is. They want more, but I trust Retro and I believe they are showing us exactly what they think we need to see to without showing us too much and then potentially, ruining some of the best parts. So, let's see. Dis Inferno says, I can share whether Samus will talk uh, or not in Prime 4. If if you have that info, yeah, go for it. She does talk some in Dread, so I don't think she's gonna end up being completely silent the whole time. That's my gut feeling anyway. There is no conversation with Miles, which also maybe she won't talk at all, or, so we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it'll be for big moments. I'm not entirely sure, but I am curious about how the cutscenes and everything will go when there seems to be a quite a bit of conversation happening within this game. So, again, just to reiterate, I'm very, very excited for this one. Going back to the remastered, playing through, I'm over 50% done. based on the percentage on the screen, I don't know how far I am. I don't know if that's including, like, how much stuff I've scanned and that kinda thing, but, I'm I'm just having such a great time with it, and it has got my hype levels for Prime 4 just, even that much higher. So, Disinferno says, "This game will go to insane territories." I love that. I love that. Steak says, "I feel like I'm one of the people that they would like to expand the multiplayer buyers to get in. I didn't buy into this game. I want, didn't buy into this game. I want until I didn't buy into this game until, like, trailer 2 or 3. Never played the Prime series before." Yeah. I like, I get it. I get it. Like, there's there's elements of this game that still look like, they could be potentially look a bit dated, right? And that could be a little bit confusing to people, but I love hearing that, you know, trailer 2 and 3 was able to pull you in. And a lot of it feels like strategy. It feels like they are being very, very strategic with this one. One of my favorite comments from people that have gone into the demos at, like, Target or Best Buy is that this is the best looking Switch 2 game, and it's a Switch 1 game. That gets me super excited. So, I'm like, this feels like this week feels like my Christmas because of how much I love the Metroid series and how excited I am for it. So, you guys are gonna hear me talking a lot about this. Hopefully, we'll be talking about it. All of us will be able to go hands-on for the main show, and we can discuss more this Thursday. This whole week is going to kind of be Metroid focused. So each day, the topic in the morning show here will be Metroid focused. The topic in the evenings will probably be a bit more Metroid focused as well. Just as we get ready for the launch of this game, because I want to be able to answer questions and help you guys make informed um, like help you make the best decision when it comes to, your purchases, and, I have to try to, like, look past all my biases when it comes to Metroid, but it it's just that sci-fi mixed with incredible storytelling, and it it just it scratches that itch for me. I am so here for it and so stoked to see this series make a return. It is gonna be it is gonna be fantastic, and I think what's gonna happen what's crazy is Retro has had their hands in so many different things for Nintendo. They're not just Metroid. They do Donkey Kong. They co-developed Mario Kart 7, and and they really do have some skills. So I am not worried in the slightest, uh, about this game and can't wait for Thursday. It's gonna be amazing. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out live. I really, really do appreciate it, and as always, play it loud.